Hello everyone, welcome to course study on solid mechanics. In today's video lecture, again we are going to discuss the numerical which are based on the flexural formula. We have numerical second and the statement of the numerical is as follows. A beam of span 4 meter carries a UDL of 15 kN per meter. The cross section of the beam is as shown in figure. Find maximum stress induced and also draw the bending stress diagram. Now, as per the statement given in the numerical, we have a beam of span 4 meter which carries a UDL of 15 kN per meter. Now, this is a beam which is simply supported over the two support and it has length equal to 4 meter. And this particular beam is subjected to a uniformly distributed load and the intensity is 15 kN per meter. Now the cross section of this particular beam, if I take the cross section of this beam, this cross section is an I shape. This is the I shape which is unsymmetrical about x axis because this particular dimension is 200 mm whereas this particular dimension is 300 mm and it is known as flanges. This particular part it is known as flanges and this particular part is the web. Therefore, the dimension of one flange it is 300 mm whereas the dimension of second flange it is 200 mm. As the dimensions are different, therefore it is not symmetrical about x axis. Therefore, we are going to use the parallel axis theorem to find out the moment of inertia for the same. And that concept we will discuss in the next slide. But as given in the numerical, we have to find out the maximum stress induced into the beam. All of you know that we have to find out the value of sigma. It is the value of stress. We have flexural formula m upon I which is equal to sigma by y which is equal to E upon R. This particular formula we are going to use to find out the value of sigma. This value we have to find out. Now, how to find out this value? From this equation, if I rearrange it, I have sigma is equal to m upon I into y. If I rearrange the above equation of flexural formula, I have sigma is equal to m upon I into y. Now, to find out the value of sigma, we must know the value of maximum bending moment. We must know the value of moment of inertia of the beam section about x axis and we must know the value of y also. Now, first of all, to find out the value of moment, we will consider this concept. As the beam is simply supported over the two support and it is subjected to a UDL of intensity 15 kN per meter, therefore the maximum bending moment for this particular loading, we have the maximum bending moment in this manner. And this value, this is the bending moment diagram for a simply supported beam which is subjected to UDL. This is the bending moment diagram for a simply supported beam subjected to UDL. And this bending moment diagram is in this manner. And this value of maximum bending moment is given by WL square by 8. It is given by WL square by 8. Now, what is W? W is nothing but it is the intensity of loading and it is 15 kN per meter. It is already given in the numerical. Whereas L is, it is 4 meter. It is also already given in the numerical. On putting the value of W and L into the equation of maximum bending moment, we have maximum bending moment M is equal to 30 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. Remember that this is 30 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. We can convert it into kilonewton meter also. In kilonewton meter, it will become 30 kilonewton meter. Remember that for the maximum bending moment for a simply supported beam when it is subjected to UDL, this value of maximum bending moment is WL square by 8. We have to remember this formula because we have already discussed the concept of bending moment and shear force in the second unit. shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. Now once you know the value of moment, we have to find out the value of y also and the value of I also. Now we will find out the value of y bar. Y bar is the distance between CG of the section and the bottom face, that is position of the neutral axis. Finding out the value of y bar is nothing but it is the position of neutral axis. Now as discussed in engineering mechanics, we have the value of y bar by this formula, because you have already studied the concept of finding out neutral axis in engineering mechanics. Y bar is given by a1y1 plus a2y2 plus a3y3 upon a1 plus a2 plus a3. Why we have considered three sections? Because this is the first section of I section, this is the second section, and this is the third section. First, second and third section. Therefore, as we have three sections, therefore we will use the formula of y bar a1y1 plus a2y2 plus a3y3 upon a1 plus a2 plus a3. Individual effect we have considered. Now for the section 1, this is section 1. For the section 1, we have the area as 200 into 30, because the width of the flange is 200 mm and its depth is 30 mm. Therefore A1 will become 200 into 30, that is 6000 mm square. This is the value of area of this section. For the same section, we have to find out the value of y1. Now it's a centroidal distance for a section on which we have concentrated. Now this y1 is nothing but the axis which is passing through its CG. Therefore, as the depth of our section 1 is 30 mm, so its half is nothing but its y1, so it is 15 mm. Remember that this is very important concept to find out the value of flexural formula, to find out the value of maximum bending moment, to find out the value of maximum bending stress. The value of y1 we have find out in this manner. Now we are going to concentrate on section 2 of I section. This is section 2 of I section. For the section 2, we have width equal to 10 mm, whereas depth equal to 960 mm. This is 960 mm and width is 10 mm, because this upper flange it is 300 mm in width, whereas the bottom flange it is 200 mm in width. 300 minus 200, and on deducting this side, we have width equal to 10 mm and depth equal to 960 mm. On multiplying this value, we have A2 is equal to 9600 mm square. In the same manner, we are going to find out the value of y2. Now y2 for this particular section, remember that we have concentrated on section a wave section. Wave section, it has depth equal to 960 mm and its base or its width equal to 10 mm. Therefore, for this section, our centroidal axis will lie over here. So this axis from the bottom has a distance of 30 mm plus 960 by 2. 30 mm plus 960 by 2. Therefore, we have the final y2 equal to 510 mm. Now we will concentrate on section 3. This is our section 3. This is our section 3. For the section 3, we have flange width equal to 300 mm and its thickness equal to 10 mm. Therefore, our area will become 300 into 10. It is 3000 mm square. For that section, we have y3 is equal to this 30 plus 960 plus 10 by 2, because it's a centroidal axis of that particular figure from the bottom face. Therefore, we have 10 by 2 plus 960 plus 30, it will give you 995 mm. Therefore, we have calculated the value of area we have calculated the value of y for the various section on putting the value of a1 y1, a2 y2, a3 y3 into this equation. We have y bar is equal to 428.54 mm from the bottom page, because we have considered our all values from the bottom side. This side we have considered as a reference line, and with respect to that we have calculated the value of area also and the value of y1, y2 and y3 also. If you require, you can find out the value from the top face also, but in this numerical we have find out it from the bottom face. Therefore the value of yt, it is 428.54 mm from the bottom face. Why we have denoted it by the letter yt? Because as the beam is simply supported, therefore the layer which is below the neutral axis, it is in tension, whereas the layer which is above the neutral axis will be in compression. As we have find out the value of neutral axis with respect to the bottom face, therefore it is in tension. Therefore this is yt, which is equal to 428.54 mm, and this value we have shown in this figure also. This is 428.54 mm. This is the position of neutral axis from the bottom face. This is the position of neutral axis from the bottom face. Now as we know the value of bottom face, it is 428.54 mm, we can find out the value from the top face also, or from the extreme fiber also. That value can be find out by the total depth of our I section is 960 plus 30 plus 10 means it is 1000. 1000 minus value of yt, it will give you the value of yc, because the fiber which is above the neutral axis will be in compression. Therefore we can say it as the yc. It is the distance of centroid from the compression zone, and this is given by 571.46 mm. So initially we have find out the value of moment also, we have find out the value of y also. Now we will find out the value of I by using parallel axis theorem, and once you know the value of m, I and y for entire section, we can easily find out the value of maximum bending moment. Now we are going to find out the value of moment of inertia of a section which is passing through its CG. As we have three sections 1, 2 and 3, the moment of inertia will be the sum of Ixx1 plus Ixx2 plus Ixx3. Now by using parallel axis theorem, we have Ixx is equal to Ig1 plus A1 H1 square. Remember that this is the value of Ixx1. Ixx1 is equal to Ig1 plus A1 into H1 square. Now what is Igg1? Igg1, it is the value of moment of inertia through its centroid for a section 1. Remember that we are concentrating on section 1 only. Therefore for the section 1 we have value of Igg1. In the same manner we have value of Ixx2. Ixx2 is nothing but it is Ig2 plus A2 into H2 square. Again Ig2 is the value of moment of inertia of the section 2 passing through its centroid. And last one we have Ixx3, which is given by Ig3 plus A3 into H3 square. Now the value of Ig1 is given by for section 1. This is our section 1. Remember that our I section is made up of three sections, three rectangular sections. This is section 1, section 2 and section 3. For the section 1, through its centroid we have moment of inertia BD cube by 12. So our B width is 200 mm and D its depth is 30 mm. For the section 1 we have width equal to 200 mm and depth equal to 30 mm. Therefore BD cube by 12 is 200 into 30 cube by 12. This is the value of BD cube by 12 for section 1. In the same manner, plus we have the area A1. A1 is nothing but 200 into 30 mm. 200 into, this is 200 into 30 mm. So it will become 6000. Now the very tough and very complicated part to find out the value of h1. How to find out the value of h1? Remember that h1 is nothing but it is the distance between the it is nothing but it is the ixx plus a1 h1 square. So h1 is nothing but the distance between the axis on which we have concentrated and the distance through the CG. Therefore, it will become 428.55 minus 15 square, because this is the centroidal axis of the section 1 and this is the neutral axis of entire section. Therefore, the distance between these two is nothing but it is 428.55 minus 15 bracket square. On solving this equation, we have the moment of inertia equal to 1.026 into 10 raised to 9. In the same manner, we have Ig2 is equal to, this is section 2. Now we have to find out the value of Ig2 for section 2. Again it is BD cube by 12. For section 2 we have the value of width equal to 10 and we have the value of depth equal to 960. Therefore it will become 10 into 960 cube by 12 plus 9 plus area is 9600, because 10 into 960 it will become 9600, and the h square is nothing but it's a distance between the neutral axis of entire section. The neutral axis of entire section, this is the neutral axis of entire section, and the CG of the section on which we have concentrated. Now we have concentrated on section 1. For the section 1, our CG is located at a depth of 510 from the bottom. Therefore the distance between the neutral axis and the CG of second section from the bottom is nothing but 428.55 minus 510 square. Remember that we will get negative sign for this particular value, but as it is the square of negative will become positive. So you will get the positive answer for the same. So that value is 0.801 into 10 raised to 9. In the same manner, we will find out the value of Ixx for third section. It is given by BD cube by 3 for the section third. Therefore, it is 300 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 12 plus area will become 3000 into h3 square will become 428.55 minus 995 bracket square. Therefore, we will have Ixx3 equal to 0.9626 into 10 raised to 9. On summing the value of all the values of Ixx1, Ixx2 and Ixx3, we have the moment of inertia for the entire body. Therefore, for the entire body, we have moment of inertia equal to 2.7896 into 10 raised to 9 mm raised to 4. Remember that for the entire section, we have found out the value of moment of inertia by using parallel axis theorem. And we have applied parallel axis theorem for the individual section of the beam section. Once you know the value of moment of inertia, once you calculated the value of m and y, we have formula m upon I, which is equal to sigma by y. Therefore, sigma is equal to m upon I into y. On putting the value of m, I and y into this equation, we have sigma maximum equal to 6.15 megapascal, and sigma maximum it will be in compression, because this value in compression we have y maximum as 571.45. This is the value of 571.45 for the y compression. Therefore, that value we have put into this equation, and we have sigma maximum equal to 6.15 MPa. Why we have considered sigma maximum? Because it is already asked in numerical. We have to find out the maximum stress induced into the body. Therefore, the maximum stress will become 6.15 MPa. And if I find out the value of sigma t, then we will have 4.62 into 61 MPa. Therefore, as asked in numerical, we have the maximum value of stress equal to 6.15 MPa. This is the value of maximum stress induced into the section of beam. Now, in the numerical, it is also asked that you have to draw the bending stress diagram. Now, as discussed in earlier also, we have m upon I sigma by y E upon r. All of you know that the value of sigma is directly proportional to the distance of y. If y is equal to 0, the value of sigma will be 0, and if y is maximum at the extreme fiber, the value of sigma will be maximum. Therefore, at neutral axis, our value of y is equal to 0. Therefore, the stress will be 0. But at the extreme fiber, this is the extreme fiber from the neutral axis. At extreme fiber, we have the value of maximum sigma. Therefore, this is maximum sigma. So, the bending stress diagram can be drawn by in this manner. Suppose that this is the neutral axis. Above the neutral axis, it is in compression. Below the neutral axis, it is in tension. Okay. Therefore, at this level we have 0 stress value, because all of you know that neutral axis, the name itself indicate neutral axis where the value of stress is 0, and we go away from the neutral axis, the value of stress go on increasing. Therefore, at the extreme fiber we have the maximum value of stress, whereas at the neutral axis we have the minimum value of stress. And this is the linear variation because it is directly proportional to y. So in this manner we have find out the value of maximum stress induced into the beam section, and it is 6.15 MPa. In the next lecture again we will discuss the numerical based on the flexural formula, and in that we will consider the another section of the beam. So we will stop here. Thank you.